Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to News and Views on Salam Media on this very cold Tuesday morning. Inshallah, it will start warming up from here on. We're going to kick off with our first story of the morning with Zama Ntshona. He's the national spokesperson of the African Transformation Movement. And the crucial question they are asking, as a matter of fact, they've taken this situation so seriously that they've actually filed papers to review Public Protector Advocate Kholeka Gcaleka's report. They are saying that she ignored crucial evidence in the Phala Phala report. Let's understand why they believe that, and we are going to unpack all of that in a minute or two with you, Zama Ntshona. A very good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning to you and the viewers.
Thank you for pulling over to do the interview with us. We truly do appreciate it. Now, we understand that ATM has filed papers to review Gcaleka's Phala Phala report. What is it that you found that is wanting regarding this report is concerned? Do you believe that she was very biased towards the president and the whole Phala Phala scandal? And how then will ATM move on with this matter?
Thank you so much. As the African Transformation Movement, we believe that the public protector, the acting public protector, in her findings, because it's all in the conclusion, because when you look at the evidence that has been presented before him, either by the African Transformation Movement or by other political parties or even the Section 89 independent panel, all the reports and all the evidence points to the fact that the president on Section 96, subsection 2, has actually embarked on other paid work. He did not report being the sole member of a closed corporation. He has a conflict of interest. And not only that, he issued an unlawful instruction. So for us as the African Transformation Movement, we believe that these, in the evidence and the affidavit that has been even given by the president, should have been an easy conclusion to draw, that the president has actually violated the Executive Members Ethics Act. One of the things that you need to look into as you look into that is, one, the president is a recruiter. He goes out there and finds people, potential buyers for his stock. And therefore, you can't say he is not an involved businessman. The president also negotiates on the prices, on the sell price. Now, there is no way that you negotiate on the sell price and you are not involved in the business. Number three, the president knows who is on the list of those individuals who are actually the clients of the business. When he was closing the Limpopo conference, it does not only say, I am a farmer, I sell animals, the money from my farm will proceed from a game sale, but he goes on to this line and he says, some of you here are my clients. Meaning he even knows who are in the list of people who actually visit his farm, who are his clients. Now, an individual like that is not an who the public protector could denote in the narrow definition as an individual who is absent in the business on daily basis and therefore must be regarded as an individual who is not embarking on other paid work. The president is embarking on other paid work. It is for that one reason first that we have taken a decision to take this issue to court. The second issue, Section 34, subsection 1, says matters of criminality, theft included, money over 100,000 must be taken to a DPCI office. The president confirmed that he did not do this. In fact, go further, Section 34, subsection 4E, that says the onus of reporting is in the member of a closed corporation. And what do we know about that? We know that the president is the sole owner of the closed corporation, and therefore the onus is on him. If he had instructed somebody else and that person did not do what he told the person, the onus is not on the person that was sent, the onus is on the member of the closed cooperation, and then the others are the conflict of interest, and the other is the issue of the issuing of an unlawful instruction within the four charges that we brought. Over and above that, the other institutions can kick in on that. But on the four, we feel that the public protector should have found in all four counts consistent to the narrative of the Section 89 independent panel that he was guilty of violating all four.
Okay, there are a couple of questions I need to put to you. If memory serves correctly, when the Phala Phala scandal broke way back then, the president did indicate that he had a farm manager that does all of the dealings on the farm. And possibly also, if you have a farm manager of that, in that category, surely that person would also negotiate pricing, etc., etc. Do we know for certain that the president was absolutely and directly involved in price negotiations and knowing exactly who his customers are or were at the time? How do we know this as a certainty or for a certainty?
The president has revealed. When you read his affidavit and when he speaks in public, you see that there are deals. He would tell his manager that there is a client coming from the United Arab Emirates. There is a client coming from North Africa. There's a client coming there. Obviously, not all clients will go through him, but he had knowledge, direct knowledge of who was coming, and also when he said when he stood in a crowd in Limpopo somewhere and could identify who his clients were in a crowd. How is that possible when you are a bystander? You can only be able to say, in this house, there are clients of mine, when you have intimate knowledge and intricacies as far as your business is concerned. So this is our argument as the African Transformation Movement, that the president, with no gun on his head, volunteered such information. So why is it that he can't be guilty of the issue of other paid work when he knows so much detail about a business that is regarded as a business that he is not involved in? It can't be. The president is guilty as charged for the violation of the executive members.
I'm wondering, can't he argue that those are his personal funds and that might be a family foundation, and just to kind of keep an eye, he does go through the paperwork from time to time. Is that not acceptable at all? Or is the belief by the ATM and other parties that it is very definitely a conflict of interest? And let's understand where that big issue comes in. Where is the conflict, in fact?
When you look at the credentials of a conference, there are no faces. When you look at the list of people who bought from you, there are no faces. How do you walk into a room and identify your clients when you are only an individual who deals with papers? The president walked in a conference filled to capacity with individuals who had come to that conference, and in that conference, looking at the audience, he could see his clients. How? You can only be able to identify your clients when you have seen them, when you know them. And the president in public said, some of you here are my clients.
Okay, and I can see that that is quite a sore point with you, because you've raised it every time I've put a question to you. I'm kind of wondering, because these are such high-profile people, and I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm not defending the president at all. I'm playing devil's advocate here and wondering that we know the type of the business, this Phala Phala, the business, the very nature of this business does involve really high value stock, and because it is such such high value transactions, for that reason, you don't have a multitude of clients. You just have a handful of clients that can afford to be in this type of business. And because there's just a handful of such clients, it's easy for the president to know who the clients are of Phala Phala. Question number one. Number two, we also understand that the president wants the court to apply the BioWatch rule so that he doesn't have to pay the legal costs. For me, that seems to be a very, very important point that you guys have brought up. Let's unpack that a little more. So, two questions to respond to, please. Okay, we do apologize. There seems to be network problems here.
Hello.
Zama Ntshona,
Oh,
are you
yes.
back
Oh,
with
yeah.
me? Are you back with me? Did you get my questions?
Yes.
Please, can you respond?
I got the first question on the issue of a handful. Yeah, on the issue of a handful number of people who can actually afford to actually be part of such a network, even by those standards, even by those standards, the fact that the president is, you are a president of the country, you are running the country, you are busy with everything else. The issue that you would have now over, let's say, over 10 directorates that you are overseeing. And not only that, you have provinces that you have parastatals. There are a number of issues that you are forced to look into because of the position that you are in. And in that, the economy is crumbling. The poverty rate is high. The death rate is high. And you still have the time to know who buys in your farm. Only when you are invested and only when you are performing both duties that you would know such, because running a state is no child's play.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. On the other hand, I'm kind of just wondering, we do know that South Africa has a very high poverty rate, but this is the president's own money, his own interests. He hasn't stolen from the poor to enrich himself. That's just a thought. I'm no fan of the president, might I hasten to add here, but I'm just trying to separate the two issues, knowing that we have lots of crooked politicians. We know what the riots, 2021 riots, has done to our country, and we know that the ongoing protests is further bringing us to our knees. I'm really asking the questions from that standpoint, that can we truly say that he has exploited the poor in this respect? You can respond to that. But another important issue here is the president is a very, very wealthy man in his own right. And having said that, he wants the court to apply the BioWatch rule so he doesn't have to pay the legal costs. That for me is a very big issue. What and how do you respond to that question, the BioWatch rule?
Thank you so much. When you have not paid your taxes, you are a thief.
Okay.
When you have large sums of money that are undisclosed, you are a thief. Yes, you have stolen from the poor. You have stolen, and what is worse is that you would subject the poorest of the poor to a taxation process and evade paying tax as the individual. You have stolen from the poor. He is the last man to even stand and say we must pay taxes. Because what happened on his farm is tantamount to tax evasion. This is why we want this to be investigated to the core, because we can't say that he is exonerated from stealing from the poor, because the money that he has, the money that is so-called his, as a portion that belongs to the people of this country, because you can't do business in South Africa not unless you pay the taxman. So for us as the African Transformation Movement, we believe that on the issue of the president stealing from the poor, in this instant he has. On the issue of the Biowatch rule, we believe that the president truly, we do not want laws that are made for others. We do not want a situation where we have the Republic of South Africa that favors others. The president must be treated like any ordinary South African. If ordinary South Africans can apply to be exonerated or exempted from paying, then that should be the rule across the board. But it can't be that because he's the president, he must be considered. And also, we must consider in this issue, he can afford. Why isn't he paying? So we do not want rules for certain people. If it applies for a common man, let it apply for the president as well.
All right. I think that's where we're going to leave it. I'd love to have, unpack this issue in more detail, and also ask what the ATM is doing with other issues around other crooked politicians and tenderpreneurs in the country. I hope that you are chasing behind them as well. But because the network is so poor, we're going to leave it for now and hopefully catch up with you at a future date to unpack those issues. Thank you indeed for being with us on the show this morning.
Thank you so much. Would like to assure the people of this country that there is not a crooked politician in this country who is going to enjoy living away from the scrutiny of the ATM. We have the magnifying glass, and we will be going through everything and everyone. We will leave no end.
Well, we look forward to that indeed. Good on you, ATM party. And let's move on. News and views right here on Salam Media. Standing by to talk with us now is Zakhele Madela, social and energy expert at the South African Energy Forum. Please stay with us. This is News and Views right here on Salam Media.